Good evening and welcome to this Township of West Lincoln Council meeting. Today is Monday, November 24th, and we are ready to start our meeting. The only person missing this evening is Councillor Witteveen, who is our regional councillor, and he is at an Agricultural Federation AGM. So he's not joining us tonight and there will be no report. So if you are able, please stand for the singing of O Canada. Tonight it's Caister Central Public School. Thank you. Okay. So we'll begin our meeting with the land acknowledgement statement as always. The Township of West Lincoln, being part of Niagara Region, is situated on treaty land. This land is steeped in the rich history of the First Nations, such as the Hattaway-Wendourong, the Haudenosaunee, and the Anishinaabe, including the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. There are many First Nations, Métis, and Inuit from across Turtle Island that live and work in Niagara today. The Township of West Lincoln, as part of the Regional Municipality of Niagara, stands with all Indigenous people, past and present, in promoting the wise stewardship of the lands on which we live. And Councillor Trombetta, you have the opening petition this evening.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We meet to serve our community, to use our resources wisely and well, to represent all members of our community fairly, to make decisions that promote the common good. We recognize our responsibility to the past and to the future, and to the rights and needs of both individuals and community. As trusted servants, may we act wisely and well.
Thank you. So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. We have nobody in the audience this evening, so I didn't bother to talk about the public may submit comments. But just in case somebody's watching, the public may submit comments for matters that are on the agenda to jpaylove@westlincoln.ca before 4:30 on the day of the meeting. Comments submitted will be considered as public information and read into the public record. And this meeting is being live streamed as well as recorded and will be available on the Township's website. So I'm going to go to members of council to see if there are any changes in orders of items on the agenda this evening. And seeing none, are there any disclosures of pecuniary interest and or conflict of interest? Okay. So again, we have no one in the gallery, but item 6 is request to address items on the agenda. And that's a standing item on our agenda. Under 6.7, public comment at council, there shall be no comments from the public permitted at council unless A, a specific appointment has been scheduled, or B, an item is included under the other business or communications or appointments section of the agenda and relates to a matter which we normally dealt with at committee. So I see nobody in the gallery, as I've said. Kevin, is there anyone online?
Not seeing any, Madam Mayor.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. So also there are no appointments or presentations, and I've already mentioned that Councillor Witteveen is absent this evening. So we are already on item number 9, which is confirmation of minutes. The council minutes from October 28th, 2025. Councillor Rayner, you have that resolution, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move by myself that the minutes relating to the October 28th, 2025 council meeting and the recommendations contained therein be accepted, and that the confidential minutes relating to the closed session portion of October 28th, 2025 council meeting be accepted, and that the minutes remain confidential and restricted from public disclosure in accordance with exemptions provided in Section 239 of the Municipal Act.
Okay, so thank you, Councillor. So I need someone to second that, first of all. Councillor Riley, thank you. And then I'm going to ask if there are any questions or comments regarding the open session portion of those minutes. Okay, seeing none then, Mr. Clerk. So the vote should come up in front of you. And hopefully it did. Okay, and that resolution carries. 9.2 is public meeting under the Planning Act, the minutes of November 10th, 2025. And Councillor Chichok, you have those?
Yes, Madam Mayor, thank you. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the November 10th, 2025 public meetings be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second those? Councillor Bradford? Thank you. Are there any questions or comments about those? Okay. Again, seeing none, so Mr. Clerk. And again, that resolution carries. Item 10 on our agenda this evening are staff reports, and the first is 10.1, Director of Legal and Legislative Services Jessica Dyson, and the recommendation report LLS-13-2025, Extension of Animal Control Services Agreement of 2026. And Councillor Bradford, you have the resolution, please.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Moved by myself, one, that the recommendation report LLS-13-2025, titled Extension of Animal Control Services Agreement 2026, dated November 24, 2025, be received, and two, that Council authorize the Mayor and Clerk to enter into an agreement with the Niagara SPCA and Humane Society for a period of 1 year, effective January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026, to allow time for area municipalities to undertake a joint procurement process for animal control services commencing in 2027.
Thank you. And someone to second that resolution, please. Councillor Maychak. All right. Are there any questions or comments about this item? Councillor Chichok.
Well, thank you, Madam Mayor. I know we have used the SPCA and Humane Society for some time now, and I'm just wondering, is it that they will not establish or increase a level of service for us, and that things are becoming out of line with the service delivery at its current standard? I have to tell you, I read this, but I didn't read it carefully. Is it in here? No, it's not.
Go ahead.
Thank you for the question. Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Chichuk. There's no changes in service delivery through the Humane Society. The joint procurement was brought forward actually at the CAO level. During a discussion, it was brought forward when there was, our agreement is up in 2025. And a number of the area municipalities are up in 2026. So the area CAOs were looking at doing a joint procurement process to see what the other service delivery models could look like, and for a potential of cost-saving services. So there's no change in service delivery. That will come forward in an RFP process in the new year to see what changes are available out there for potential services.
And again, through you, Madam Mayor, it's just that, yes. Good. Again, thank you for that answer. But SPCA is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts. I know they don't stop grizzly bears, but they do take care of animals who've been hurt or in need of pardon me, being picked up because they've been certainly been killed or something on the road. So I'm just wondering why we would go to a different service, and what level would precipitate us going away from this. That's number two. Number three is, will there be a fair shake for this, for SPCA and Humane Society to do that? Because they're a very vital part of the community. And going to find someone else, if we're trying to do price checking, that's fine, but with some services, the best isn't the lowest or the highest. So I'm wondering why we're doing it, and especially at this time.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Thank you for the question. There's a couple of humane societies within the Niagara region. So the Niagara SPCA is not the only service provider as it relates to animal control services. So this will provide the area municipalities to look at our administrative processes right now, what we can look for as joint municipalities, and what services we can improve, should there be room for improvement. This is extension, is allowing us to look at these options. It's not something that the township needs to move forward with in 2027, should we decide that we're not of the opinion that we need to move forward with it, but it's definitely an option to look at for 2026.
So, Madam Mayor, just lastly, so this is an RFP that will go out from how many municipalities, and do we have the option to go in or go out? I'm finding this a little bit distracting because it seems to have come out of, I didn't know there was any problems or any costs that we were concerned about. So if that is the case, I know that price checking is important and it keeps people on their toes, but I just, I wondered how many other municipalities are doing it.
Yep. So right now, there's a split in municipalities. So currently, there are 4 municipalities who are looking at, including, not including West Lincoln, so 5 total, would be looking at doing this potential joint RFP or procurement policy or process. And again, it's not to exclude the Niagara SPCA. It's to open the doors to opportunities of how we can improve service delivery within animal control services.
I
And-
see.
oh, sorry.
It's not complete Niagara. It's something for a few. I hope they're all in. They're. Sorry, Madam Mayor, through you. I hope they're all contiguous to us. If it's disjointed, it may not be the savings that we want, or it may not bring the times into any kind of opportunity for them to help. I guess there's no harm in looking as long as SPCA and Niagara SPCA and Humane Society are offered the opportunity to bid. It's kind of like one of these things where if it ain't broke, why are we fixing it? But I understand money is tight and we have to look at all the options. But this would come back for us to opt out before we would have to opt in.
You finished, Councillor?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say.
That was the end of my question.
Well, I think that our CAO is going to weigh in on that at one point in time. But
If I
then
could
you
just
asked
get-
another question, so.
Sorry, Madam Mayor, the fine point here, the question is, it was a combination of comment and question, but we would have the opportunity to opt out if an RFP were put together and we didn't want to go forward. And this council would get to make that decision.
Correct. So this agreement has always come before council for
Yes.
approval. Again, our contract is up in 2025. So this one-year extension would allow us the opportunity to explore a joint procurement policy or process, sorry.
But we would have the opportunity, if the RFP was issued, to not decide to opt in?
Correct. We always have that option, yes.
That's the question I need answered. Sorry, Madam Mayor. I'll turn it over to you.
No, I know at one point in time when you were asking a question, it looked like the CAO wanted
Oh, I'm sorry.
to enter into that as well.
He was not
so-
in my peripheral vision. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Mayor. The other municipalities, Waynfleet, Lincoln, Pelham, and Welland, all are looking at their animal control services. This is just as Ms. Dyson had indicated. This isn't anything that we're jumping into. This is to allow us to explore whether or not there are service delivery efficiencies and cost savings if we were to pool this together, both in the ease of administration for the provider and for the municipalities as well. My understanding of the process and the discussions today is it still allows the individual area municipalities to tailor those specific services within the RFP to what they want. If through the exploratory process it turns out that this isn't something that's going to be in West Lincoln's interest, we of course, and council will always have the prerogative to take a step back and continue on the course that we're on right now.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's just that I know an RFP does take time, and to have it specific or broad enough to do 5 municipalities, but still open enough to have understanding of what each individual municipality, pardon me, wants, is going to take time. And I just hope that it doesn't overburden our staff.
Thank you. Councillor Maychak?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to the CAO, other than the possible cost benefit, is there any other benefits doing it collectively with these other municipalities that you see that might provide even a better service, especially to our animals and pets?
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair. I'm not sure at this point what this looks like. This was only to provide us the chance to explore it. They were just some very high-level discussions happened a couple of weeks ago. So we're not certain yet what this is going to yield, if anything, but we thought it's worth at least exploring. And this extension gives us that time to explore. And Pelham had come forward to ask to be the lead coordinator, so it wouldn't end up being a burden on our staff. They've volunteered to do that, the managing partner type role in pulling things together.
Okay. Anything further from anyone else? Okay, well, go ahead. Councillor Rayner?
Yeah. Thank you. Through the CAO, all the years I've been on council, I thought we had a partnership agreement with Welland SPCA.
Name change.
That we were, so, and we got a better deal because we joined with Welland. So I'm not sure where all this was going, but I thought we already had a partnership agreement, and it's been going on for a long time because we don't have our own within our own township. We utilize the service of another municipality, and I thought we also got a good deal because we've given them more business. Could you clarify that?
Well, you're correct about the long-standing agreement with Welland, for sure. Ms. Dyson, anything further?
Through you, Madam Mayor, to Councillor Rayner. It is the same company, service provider. It was just a name change probably a couple terms ago. I can't distinctly remember the exact time that the name changed from Welland District Humane Society to Niagara SPCA and Humane Society. It's the same service provider, just the name change.
Good. Councillor Riley?
It's got a lot written in it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to provide clarity, and I think our CEO kind of gave that clarity there, because I think during the first line of questions, it made it sound like, and I don't think it was the intent, that this was something we were making a decision on tonight, other than the extension of an ongoing contract to allow time to review whether or not this is appropriate fit. And there was a question that was kind of, I think, subtly asked but unintentionally about whether or not this council would have to make a decision on that, and I don't believe so. So through you, Madam Mayor, to our clerk there, or Director of Legal Services and something else, this council, this term, will we get a chance to review this before a decision needs made, or is this coming back next December, so in theory it would be the next term of council?
That's correct. It would be the next term of council.
Okay, so
yes.
again, just so
So
there's
in theory, you're correct.
yeah, so this is why I just wanted to make sure that it's very clear out there. This is not something that we would have to necessarily weigh in on unless that comes back to whatever that council looks like in the direction there. So we're just giving the 1-year extension.
Or I would say unless there's a report that comes forward earlier in the year where a recommendation, might be to continue one way or the other.
Get ahead of it or something?
Exactly. So if that were to be happen, if all the details were in place and there was something that staff thought they should present to this council in advance and secure something, there would be that opportunity.
Perfect, yeah, because I'm reading here, it was just basically a small ask to give a 1-year extension. This doesn't seem like a big deal, so.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Think everybody's good with that then? So the resolution we've had, it's been read, it's been seconded, and it's in front of you to vote. And that also carries. Pardon me. So there are no communications this evening either, and my remarks are fairly short, but I'm going to proceed with them. So, since our last council meeting held on October 28th, November has been very focused on budgets for 2026, both here in West Lincoln and Niagara region. So members of council, I know that you're aware of this, but these are the notes also that Beth uses when she puts out our end of the month announcement. So this first paragraph is not really addressed to you so much as part of Beth's comments, but November 3rd, I had the task of delivering to Council a preliminary budget that highlighted various improvements to our community while maintaining fiscal accountability and overall sustainability. The budget is now in the hands of members of Council who are in the process of doing their own due diligence, with the goal being to further reduce, if possible, the current 3.98% increase on the West Lincoln portion of our taxes. Remembrance Day in our community was appropriately honored with the new commemorative flags being placed throughout the community, the poppy flag flying high in the parkhead in Smithville, and a well-attended service at the Smithville Legion. The morning of November 13th, I had the eye-opening experience of touring with other St. Catharines councillors and additionally some regional councillors the Port Weller and Port Dalhousie wastewater treatment plants. The youngest of these two plants, being Port Dalhousie, each using different technologies for purifying water, was built in the early 1960s, still therefore closing in on 70-year-old technology. It was obvious when we were there. Representing West Lincoln, I was pleased to attend, along with Director of Growth and Sustainability Garrett Borma, the Growing Niagara Housing Symposium presented by the Niagara Association of Realtors on Friday, November 14th. That same day also marked the official opening of our new West Lincoln Memorial Hospital. This event was one marked by the extreme pleasure and accolades for this new building, after so many decades of heartbreak and disappointment to the West Niagara communities of Lincoln, Grimsby, and West Lincoln. Yesterday, November 23rd, patients were carefully moved from the old to the new hospital, and this morning CAO McBride represented West Lincoln as Mayor Jordan rang the town bell in recognition of today being opening day for the new hospital. There were pictures online, by the way, of the old hospital standing empty. Some of you may have noticed those. Sad, but not that sad. November the 18th, I was pleased to attend the Peace Award ceremony at the Niagara West YMCA, where various individuals and groups, having first been nominated in their own communities, were presented with their medals and certificates. This also marked the beginning of the Shine On campaign, a fundraiser that helps families and individuals who are in need of financial support in order to take part in the Y activities. Thursday, November 20th, there was a retirement celebration for Marlene Bergsma, a Wellandport resident, marking her retirement from Smithville Christian High School after 17 years. Over those years, Marlene was involved in a great many community initiatives, including her work with the Chamber of Commerce, which included many candidate nights being held at the school. Her involvement with the Township and Kiwanis Club that initiated the pickleball court, disc golf, and beach volleyball courts, which are now jointly used by both students and members of the public. And as well, she was the original representative from the school, precipitating the Christian High School's involvement with our community tree lighting event 7 years ago. It was always Marlene's goal to not only have students engaged in their school community, but to also involve students in the community at large. A certificate from the Township in recognition of her efforts to strengthen community building was presented to her at that event. The coldest night of the year walk does not happen until February 28, 2026. However, a media event to help promote that event took place in Niagara Falls on Friday afternoon. The West Niagara team, that walk team, had a great turnout with Grimsby Mayor Jeff Jordan, CAO McBride, Councillor Riley and his son Joshua, YMCA Executive Director Elizabeth Zimmerman, and John and I all walking in the mini walk and taking part in the photo shoot to help advertise this upcoming event. I think West Lincoln was the best represented of any of the municipalities then. Please consider joining us for the actual event in February. Members of council, staff, and residents are all invited to join the West Lincoln team for this fundraising walk, the coldest night of the year. This morning, I attended the Regional Anti-Gender-Based Violence Awareness flag raising at regional headquarters, thus kicking off the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. And just a reminder that our own Jillian's Place Wrapped in Courage flag raising will take place Wednesday morning of this week at 9:30 a.m. And that concludes my remarks. So that takes us to number 13, which is reports of committees, and Growth and Sustainability Committee. Councillor Trombetta, you have that.
Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the November 10th, 2025 Growth and Sustainability Committee meeting and that the recommendations contained therein be accepted.
Thank you. And someone to second that? Councillor Maychak, thank you. Any questions or comments about those minutes? Seeing none, the vote is in front of you. Okay. Item 13.2 are the Corporate Services Committee minutes from November 17th, and Councillor Broderick, you have those.
Yes, I do. Moved by myself that the minutes relating to the November 17, 2025 Corporate Services Committee meeting and the recommendations contained therein be accepted.
Okay. Someone to second those, please? Councillor Riley? Any questions or comments on those minutes? Moving right along, the vote will be in front of you shortly. And that also carries. So we have nothing under reconsideration this evening, and nothing under notice to, the motion to rescind, and that takes us to other business. And so I'm going to start, Councillor Maychak, at your end this evening. Do you have anything you'd like to report on?
New business, Madam Mayor.
Councillor Bradford, nothing. Councillor Trombetta, nothing. Councillor Riley. Councillor Chichok.
No, Madam Mayor, nothing that I've been to, but I do want to remind the public that there's a lot of bazaars and dinners and Christmas celebrations, pre-Christmas celebrations that are out there. I think if they looked at the Township's website or at any of the social media, there's 5 or so of them around town that might lead them to knowing what the churches, the individual churches are doing between now and the next few weeks. But of course, people should remember that tomorrow night there is West Lincoln Shines, Wednesday night, West Lincoln Shines, the tree lighting at the Recreation Center, and that Saturday is our parade.
And Christmas market in the morning as well?
Christmas
So
market in the
again,
morning, yes.
Lots going on.
And a couple other churches holding events on Saturday morning, so you can do the rounds. Go home for lunch or whatever, or have lunch out, and then go to the parade at 5.
I think there's somewhere a post that says plan your parade day or something. Maybe that's why. There are certainly lots of things going on. Okay. And we also, Councillor Rayner, anything from you today?
Yes, Madam Mayor. I attended the Regional 12 landfill site meeting about a week and a half ago. I can bring members up to speed on that. If you recall, last month I had concerns with regards to the fact that they had changed the people who operate the landfill site, and they're no longer looking after recycling in the way that was respected and appreciated in the past. And that I had asked Councillor Witteveen if he could help me from the top down in order to prevent this from dragging on too long, and he declined to help and suggested I go from the bottom up. So I went to the meeting, and I brought my concerns to Andrew Winters, who was chairing it, and to the members that were there. I explained to him that what was done in the past was in the best interest of recycling. A lot of stuff was not even used, and they were good enough to put it aside, and people were taking it. I know they also had a spot when you first come in, but there's a lot of people that have a lot in their vehicle, and by the time they get to emptying it out, they don't want to go back and put it where they want it for recycling, so they leave it there, and the people in the past were good enough to let people take it. Mr. Winters was a little bit off on his game. He was saying that they're trying to preserve the 45-year lifespan that's left of the landfill site, and we were in conjunction with a regional member that was online on Zoom, and he corrected Mr. Winters and told him it was a 25-year span that was left, so I'm not really sure if there's really a lot of control there. I indicated that I would prefer that we would go back to the old system that was done before in the best interest of recycling. I mentioned the reasons why to the members, and they unanimously supported putting a motion forward to take it from the bottom up, so that hopefully Albert can take it and go with it now that I've got it started. But we've lost a lot of time by going from the bottom up, but that's the way he wanted to do it. The concern that I had also was that the representative from the region that was online said that in Hamilton, what you're asking is considered to be scavenging, and they have a bylaw that prevents people from doing that. And I said, I'm not asking for any more that was done before. just do exactly what was done in the past prior to the new people coming on to run it on September the 1st. And again, he said about scavenging, they'd have to look into it. And I said, well, that doesn't make any sense to me because it was made clear by Mr. Andrews that this regional road facility on Road 12 is monitored and controlled by the region. And he said it is. And I said, well, therefore, why would you have to go back and decide if you can do it or not in the future, when in all the years that it was run in the past, you've never stopped it? He didn't have an answer for that, because he knew damn well that really there was no reason why it couldn't be continued, because he didn't have a leg to stand on, because they permitted it to be allowed all the years that they were supposed to have stopped it if they really wanted to stop it. So I got very frustrated, Madam Mayor. I don't think the region has control of what's going on, which you know my opinions about the region and how much money we waste going over there. But they don't seem to be monitoring the landfill site, otherwise they would have recognized the problem that they appear to recognize now. And they don't even know how long the lifespan is on the facility to which the meeting was being held on. So really, going to that meeting was an eye-opener to me that we really need to make some changes and to get somebody in charge of recycling and landfill operations that really knows what they're doing. And right now, I have no confidence whatsoever in the individuals from the region that are running this facility, and unfortunately running probably all the other ones in the region of Niagara, because they didn't know their ass from the hole to the ground, and I'm being blunt,
Okay.
but I don't like
Yeah.
it, and I
Okay.
don't deal
So-
well with people who don't have control of the subject matter to which they are paid a lot of tax dollars to know what they're doing.
Thank you. We'll
Thank you.
stop there. Because there were some accusations that were made that probably could land us in a bit of trouble. So let's just have no further reports of that sort. Thank you. Okay, so there are no new items of business unless somebody has something of which I'm unaware. And that does take us to confidential matters this evening. So Councillor Trombetta, would you read the resolution, please, that takes us into closed session?
Moved by myself that the next portion of this meeting to be closed to the public to consider the following pursuant to section, this tea is gonna change my game a bit. I'm not used to having tea before.
You better have coffee.
Yeah, following pursuant to section 239-2 of the Municipal Act 2001, reads Mayor Cheryl Gannan, CAO performance evaluation, physical copies to be distributed. Application in closed session, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local boards. Read Mayor Cheryl Gannan, CAO performance evaluation, physical copies to
Yeah,
be
we've
distributed. Got it.
We've gotten both. That's good. We need someone to second that. Councillor Bradford, thank
I know I
you.
repeated it twice, but can't remove it. I know. So
We're good, we're good. Okay, so the vote in front of you then to go into closed session. Thank you. And that passes, thank you. So we will be in closed shortly. And so members of council, we're going to start and just on our own, we're going to excuse our CAO. And then we're going to invite him back. And then we're going to excuse him again. So we're following through on the rest of that. So.
Oh, no,
Okay, welcome back, everyone. We are back and ready to hear item 19, which is a disclosure of confidential matters, and the clerk has the resolution.
Through the mayor to the rest of the council, that administration proceed as directed in closed session item 18.1. I'll need a mover and seconder.
Okay, so someone to move that, Councillor Riley, and second it, Councillor Rayner. Okay, and that resolution should be in front of you shortly. Okay, and that carries, and that takes us to bylaws. And Councillor Maychak, you have the bylaw resolution, please.
Yeah, moved by myself, Madam Mayor, that leave be granted to introduce bylaws 2025-66, 2025-67, 2025-68, 2025-69, and 2025-70, and that the same shall be considered to have been read a first, second, and a third time with one reading and are hereby adopted, and two, that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to sign and affix the corporate seal thereto, any rule of this council to the contrary notwithstanding.
Thank you. And someone to second bylaws, please. Councillor Broderick. Okay, are there any questions about any of the bylaws? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk. Waiting for Councillor Chichok? Councillor Chichok? Oh. Okay, and the bylaws also passed, thank you. And that brings us to adjournment at 8:34. I adjourn this meeting.